Greetings, my name is Jeffrey Evans. Welcome to Insta Author. If you give me less than a minute here, I'm going to do a quick plug for Story Hacker Gold. This is a group on Skool.com of like-minded people. These are people who aren't so silly that they completely rule out using AI to help them write. I have a lot of books in me and I would have no time to get them done. Anyway, it is Story Hacker Gold is a paid group. They have a free group. I recommend you check it out. You don't get the snobbery that you see on Facebook and whatnot in groups that are just completely anti-using AI. And with that, let's get on with the show. Okay, this video is going to be on prompting. Get this out of the way. Okay, let's go ahead and sign in. And to explain prompting and multi-level prompting and why we do it, I think the clearest way to do it is to just go ahead and create a book. So I try to keep my videos under 10 minutes. It's 51 past the top of the hour. Let's see if I can do it here. I'm going to go to outlines, and I'll tell you what I've done in advance. The only thing I did in advance is I went over here just a moment ago to Grok, and I asked Grok if time management could help. How can time management help procrastinators? Okay, and it gave me all of this material, and I call that research. So what I did was I put it into a Word document, which is here, and then I uploaded that into the research section of Instant Author. Now I'm not going to go through all of this, but just to show you behind this, there's a place where you have multiple ways you can add research. Okay, so having said all of that, all good books start with an outline. So let's go to outlines, and I'm going to say generate a new outline. Excuse me. There's instructions on how to do all this stuff, but let's go ahead and put a title in here. Say, time management for procrastinators. I hope I spelled that right. Okay. Now, I'm going to choose a genre, so let's say it's nonfiction. And I can put something in here, a description. If there's all sorts of things I can do with this book description. But what I'm going to do is, instead of using that today, I'm just going to go over here to the research. And I'm going to go through my research material. I wonder if this is in alphabetical order or if it's down at the bottom. We'll see in just a moment. Okay, time research document. So I'm going to say add this to the outline. Okay. Now I'm going to come down a bit further. I don't need a story template, although I have lots of choices of different kinds of stories that I could write. It wants to know the AI model that I want to use, so I'm going to move this down so I can see a wide variety of them. Let's see. For this, I think I want to go ahead and use, let's keep it simple. I'll use GPT-4o Mini. It's a very inexpensive model to use. And this is going to be in English, although we could do it in a whole bunch of different languages. And I'm going to set the temperature. Temperature says, how creative do I want it to be? Well, this is a factual-based book, so I'm going to put it down here at point 1, and I'm going to say generate the outline. So it's off doing its job. I'll do detailed videos of each of these individual sections, but I'm going through this so that I can get to the prompting and show you how that works. Okay, so the outline is complete. Here's the research material, and then here's each of the chapters. And the reason I'm showing you these chapters is because the system generates one chapter at a time so that it can accommodate all of the prompting. Now, I chose how many chapters, and my default was in at 12. I could have changed that. I'm not sure how I passed over it. Okay. So let's come up here. If I want to, I can download the content of the outline. I can come in and I can edit this. So if there's a character, the same way we added research, we had characters. If there's a character that I wanted to appear in a particular chapter, that's how I'd handle it. All right. There's my download. I can generate a sales page for my book. We'll talk about that another time. I'm going to go directly to generate book. See if I can keep this in my 10 minutes. All right, so here we go. Time management for procrastinators. You can ignore the target word count. Genre is nonfiction. Reading level is middle school. I don't use this enforced minimum chapter length because if a chapter is not at least 1,500 words, it will stop it, okay? There may be a time you want to do it, but from my standpoint, it was just a bad idea. Now, AI models, once again, I can choose whichever one I want to use. I'm going to use this GPT-4o Mini, English, temperatures set at 0.1. Now the pre-prompt. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I had these 3 levels of prompting: the pre-prompt, the system prompt, and the additional instructions. The system prompt brings the expertise of whatever you're going to write about. Okay, so I have a system prompt for bunches of different topics, but I'm going to show you how you can create your own because that's what we said we would answer. But let's go ahead and look at some of these system prompts. We have tons of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you my system, my prompt for creating system prompts. And here it is. Here's a system prompt generator. I'm going to grab this right here, and I will share this prompt with you, although I'll probably regret it later. Let's see. I don't mind giving it to people using the software, but publish it publicly, and it could be a little sticky. All right, let's go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to put in this prompt, and I'm going to run it. And it's going to come back, and it's going to ask me, what is it I'd like to write about? Okay, so tell me the single area of expertise you'd like the prompt to cover, and if there's any context, the intended audience. So I'm going to say time management, and I'm going to say it is for procrastinators. Okay. And it's going to go off and it's going to create this prompt for me. I could save this in the system. I probably should show you how I do that, but For you, you would simply paste this in. So here's the prompt. Now, I'm not going to go through and read all this because it gets lengthy. Let's copy that. We're going to go back into InstAuthor, and I'm going to put this in the place where the system prompt is. And you'll see custom comes up. Okay. Now for a pre-prompt. The reason I did a pre-prompt and in additional instructions I have another prompt. This is how it came about. When you read something that's been written by AI and it's just raw, you'll get a lot of stuff like in conclusion, blah, 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 and you'll get that in every chapter, and it'll drive you freaking nuts, right? And you'll say, this was obviously wrote by AI. So I wanted a prompt that would humanize the writing. And so I'm going to come back over here to my secret prompt stuff here. And I'm going to go down to the bottom. And I call this a human voice, right? And because I'm going to post this, you guys can go in and read it yourself. But you can tell when creating this content, please write in a distinctly human style by. And it goes through all sorts of things here. So I'm going to say Control C. I'm going to come back over here to Instant Author. And let's go back and see where I was on that. Okay, this is I have this set as my default. All right, so it's already there. It's already here. When creating this content, please write in a distinctly human style. Okay. So I use this all the time, but there may be times that I want to add some other additional instructions. Now, what does a pre-prompt do? If you study AI writing, you will find that the AI tries to write in a very balanced manner. And when we have something that we're so passionate about, we write in a slanted manner. If your writing is completely balanced and it's not controversial and it doesn't challenge some norms and whatnot, you can turn around and you can take that writing and you can ask AI, was this written by AI? And it'll come back and tell you with great certainty that it was, and it'll give you all the reasons why, right? So what we have here is we create a system prompt for the topic, and we make it, humanize it, make it a little bit more controversial, take away a lot of the AI earmarks, so that if you ask, the systems will typically come back and say, yeah, there's maybe a 25% chance this was wrote by AI. It may have been influenced, but this was largely wrote by a human. I think that's a pretty cool prompt. So we're going to get the code, the prompt that will write that prompt for us. So let me come up here and get to that. And that's right here, my pre-prompt master. So I'm going to take this, Control C, and I'll just keep using ChatGPT for the moment. Control V. What subject would I like to pre-prompt for? And I'm going to say time management. Let's take it a little further. Time management for procrastinators. I have a PhD in procrastination, so this is a topic near and dear to my heart. Okay, and here comes my pre-prompt. Control C, back to Inst Author. Here's my pre-prompt. Okay, so I have put all of this in here. Let's come up and have a look. Everything's filled in. Reading level, we can change the reading level. I've chose middle school. Now I'm going to say generate the book. Now, this will take some time because the first thing it's going to do is it's going to put it into a queue. All right, and that way we don't stop each other's work. Once it's in the queue, it'll start processing it, and it's going to process it a chapter at a time. You can leave this and come back to it. You can leave it on the screen, whatever it is you'd like to do. So now you understand where the prompts come from. I will give you these prompts. It is applying these prompts to each of those chapters individually. And this is where the software really comes in handy, right? Because it keeps everything organized. It brings your research in. It does the rest of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here. It's going to produce me my 12 chapters, and in other videos we'll talk about what we do from there, how we download it, how we do our images, etc. Thanks for watching.